to sort of work from. But it's really sort of quite on the cusp to it. I know one or two people have had problems with the actual board not working, so in that case there's often two boards in the pipe because somebody's sort of broken it in the past. But the motors are the things that are a bit sort of more tricky. You can just unplug your reader one for now and just plug in your motor instead. And hopefully on your fidget screen you'll see whether it's connected if it comes up on your control panel with Advanced Servo 1 motor on it. That just indicates that yes, it's connected and it seems to be getting power. You'll see on this one it's a bit more complicated interface to it. There's quite a few controls. The obvious one, hopefully, is the position. The position goes from 0 up to about 180. And you drag the position over and then click engage. And at that point it should sort of turn to whatever position that is. As I'm moving it there, engage says now move, disengage says stop you moving. While it's engaged, you can have a live slider. You can do things like set the maximum and minimum position that goes to. Other things like the velocity limit. Perhaps not as important initially, but if you ever remember back when you were playing in the playground on one of the spinning wheel on one of the roundabouts, it does matter how fast round that thing's going or what the acceleration is. If you're on a roundabout, it's okay if it starts to accelerate slowly, but if you suddenly whisk from 0 to 30 miles an hour, you end up being thrown off because of the momentum. So you can change things like, well, what's the maximum velocity that you get up to turn, and what's the acceleration that you use to get there. It doesn't matter too much at this stage, but later on when we are moving things, it might be that something gets thrown off because it's spinning too fast. I'd say just play around with it.
How often it's checked?
Pass. I suspect it is, yeah. I suspect it's sort of how often it's checking, yeah. Yeah, there's some good questions coming out here, like what's the data interval? I don't know what all of these do. The thing to do there is to say, well, let's have a look at the documentation. Go over to this, where was it that I had it before? Go over to the documentation for the RC servo. And you'll see things there like get the data interval and set the data interval. Data interval, the time that must elapse before the controller will fire another position change. So it's as well to know where the API is later on when we start playing about with the Java. They just think this was such a hands-on module. So play around with the motor. Once you're happy with roughly what some of the controls are for the motor, let's try the same thing with the interface kit. Interface kit, this thing with the green screw terminals going down one side and a set of sockets on another side. For the interface kit, these black sockets are where you can plug up to 8 sensors in, numbered 0 through 7, and again a USB thing at the other side. So when you plug the interface kit in, you can plug more than one thing in at once if you like. It'll just show up on that control panel as whatever you've got in. I'm just swapping each round. Now this is a bit trickier to deal with. If you expand out the fidget interface kit, you'll see a whole range of values you can pick up on. The reason for that is that there's up to 8 inputs, numbered 0 through to 7. Now the individual sensors should come with a, I'll be with you in a second, a black, red and white cable. One end goes into your sensor, the other end into one of those slots on your board. You have to know which slot it is because you're asked about it later on. Now I'm just going to play with a slider sensor at the start because then I can control it easy. As I say, it won't be bouncing around, but you can use any sensor. I'm going to have a slider sensor for mine and I'm going to plug it into 0, one end of it. You can plug it into any. Now there's a few things you can look at once your sensor's plugged in. Select initially the easiest one to look at, what's called the voltage ratio input. This gives you a value between 0 and 1 for that sensor. I'd select it for whichever sensor you've got plugged in. I plug mine into 0. So I'm looking at 0 and you'll see here that I'm getting as I move it, I've got this voltage ratio, and when I move it from one end to the other one, it should go from 0 up to 1, or 0.9999, or something like that at the other. So what you'd be able to do there is then scale that. One end is 0, the other end is 1. You can just decide, well, if it's halfway, what does half volume represent, or halfway along, or half strength. Again, other things like data intervals, the change trigger, what voltage you want it to suddenly become aware of. Try the different sensors, try a force sensor, touch sensor, or a light sensor. If you're doing a light sensor, you'll need something with a light on. I'll do this one for you. No, you can get them all. You should be able to get them all if you want. Yeah, yeah, you can put more than one in. It's just you've got different. You'll get a feel for how hard you're stressing. That might be good for detecting somebody walking into something or weight. Yeah, there we go. Try the different sensors out, and as I say, we've only got a small selection of sensors there. There are hundreds of different sensors.